and I'm going to have Alpha here play that agent instead. And you know what?
Should work.
I don't mind it. It's a nice switch. I think it's one that he can still pop off on, and wow, we are right into the pistol pitch.
You were saying earlier, we've already seen him play this agent in the past, right? Just not on this roster, so certainly no questions of comfort ground on the agent itself. Starting out, this is a risk to knife that wall. Of course, you can dive right from the top of on top of the wall and cause some trouble. They've managed to tear it open. PRX continuing on with the aggression, obviously with the anchor, allowing that TP back out of Forsaken, but he has suffered quite a bit of damage on that initial fight.
That's the thing, though. You delay that explosive nature of PRX, and then you have to see what the call's going to be. Now, I will say last time they played, Benkai was excellent at pulling in those rotations, but they've got the information that there are still players deep within B, and you can see that there are already 3 players set up here for Fnatic.
Yeah, they might have heard 3 players shoot at that. They're certainly about to face the contact with 4 about to burst out of the smoke. Alpha closes out that door, but he's being revealed. He's being blinded. Still decent damage. Boaster tries to follow up and actually gets out for free. 2 kills and they reset completely. Benkai has to find value on this flank, but the players, they're not obliging. They're going back. They fake the steps all the way, actually. It seems they have an idea he could be close, and they're being very vigilant about checking it.
I thought for a split second they were just going to run straight past. I was like, no, please. After doing so well in this early engagement, already the rotation has come through, though. And this might be an expectation of a much cleaner sight. Even still, though, the initial awareness dissipates. Benkai runs out of bullets. And while Durka was still here all along, leaving Forsaken to try and clutch this one. Oh, he's right in front of him. But even that has bought enough time. Fnatic will take the pistol. Well, a little bit wild at the end, but I don't think they'll mind too much.
Yeah, I do like the idea. Obviously, the initial fights went massively in favor of Fnatic, and that double kill just stalls them out so much on the PRX side. But I do like that Benkai tucked in and waited for the contact on short. It's when those players are running up and making all that noise that Benkai slips his way into spawn. And that was the exact second that Mystic had come back, because Fnatic did a really good job of establishing new front lines. They had a player on B, one in spawn, and then obviously the 2 players towards the A site that were resetting to control the map. But once short was under threat, they had to leave that spawn open. That little gap exploited, and we're already seeing that level of play in the pistols, which should be fun as we go on through. But this one here, Tom, you know, not too much to write home about in the PRX side. Maybe this Headhunter can get something.
Yeah, something to mention as well is they're already going for the same aggressive utility usage that we've seen from them. So a lot of the time you're going to have this Seize combo alongside a Gravity Well and then the Paint Shell thrown in as well. This tries to deny that early aggression, which we just saw from Durka. It didn't, because he managed to run past it before it actually got used, but I guess they killed him off anyway.
It's interesting to see that used up in this round as well, where you don't really have that much to work with, but I suppose just lighten up that player if they do get caught could be worthwhile. Only the one to be lost so far, it is Durka, and no one else will lose their life. So, all things considered, a decent round. Alpha, unfortunately, not going to be able to get his hands on anything better than the Frenzy. But, yeah, 2-0. Nicely done by Fnatic. They avoid any of the pitfalls we've seen many teams suffer at the hands of. Those weaker weapons can do a hell of a lot of damage. And coming into this third, they have got some decent abilities to fight. The Headhunter on Durka, the obviously Vandal on Alpha.
Yeah, Alpha bought that just now. He had a Frenzy in the last round, so basically just saved some of that extra cash ready for this round. But this is where things get a lot tougher for Fnatic. You've got PRX investing in with the rifles. We see them quite regularly get quite aggressive over onto this A-long spot. It's somewhere I think Jing might be one of the best entries in the world at just getting into that A site.
How did that not see Durka? Okay, well, they've taken him down anyways. That Prowler went straight past him. The angle must have been just right, but I'm sure he's surprised to still be caught off on that fight on short. Good connection by Forsaken. That's the Vandal gone, and now Enzo, who was supposed to be the bait for the player up close, is having to retreat to the site. That was dodging bullets. It wasn't close, it was on. He's 5 HP now.
Too slow.
Oh, that's the B site completely fallen. You've got a lurk in mid as well if there's any rotation through there, and Mystic is slowly walking to what seems like his demise. A free kill for Mindfreak, and well, it gives Boaster at least an opportunity, hoping he can try and clear this last man out, and there you go. It's at least 1 kill. Some cost in the bonus round, but ultimately, PRX have kept this squeaky clean.
Yeah, he's managed to make it out towards short as well. I mean, a save is technically possible, but Boaster might almost just want to issue some more damage to these players. Oh, that nade close. Jing clearing every angle on the way through, but he'll still lose his life. Fantastic connection. And they probably do want to stop him from saving this weapon, but at this point, you've already lost 2. They cannot afford
Well, they know where he is.
to lose another weapon. Yeah, but see, like, there's so many angles because of this smoke.
That's the thing. They have short. They'd already cleared the window, and when he threw the smoke down, they'd already heard him close the door. So it's like, he's in the smoke. There's literally nowhere else.
Yeah, if he could have gotten one more there, though, it could have been a big blow to the Paper X economy.
It's still not bad. Ultimately, a couple of kills when you're in a 1 versus 5. It's more than you expect to get from that sort of position. And now there's going to be a purchase coming up for Fnatic anyway. So this is where the game really gets going. Doesn't seem like there's going to be an operator just yet for Durka, though. And that's probably the main danger on this defensive side, is once he gets that op in play, he's a true menace. For now, much more of a standard buy.
Yeah, light shields to work with, 2 away from getting the Tour de Force online, and immediately we're going to have the challenge. Durka safe down below. Has the TP out if he needs it. So that control, it's going to be kept. And I feel like Paper X, that reveal might have sold them some fake information, Tom. They might think at this point that they're actually pretty clear around mid, that Fnatic don't have that information. And I think that's why they're trying to bait them out. Make some noise on A, show some presence, and then hopefully catch them on this B push. But they've been caught here as well, detected, and I think this is going to have to be a reset out of Paper X with that early round. A lot of this comes down to if Durka's going to be caught in mid or not. It's just so much info for Fnatic to hold for free.
Yeah, they're slowly making that rotation back towards this B side. Now, Althea is holding his wall. You kind of expect it to be a little bit deeper. Instead, though, you're going to have the showstopper from Jing. It does a lot of damage, but actually Enzo lands the shot, taking one at least. And still a couple of players are around this angle. The wall's been used to almost give them an avenue back in on the retake. But with the lurk finding Mystic, they might just rotate here.
Yeah, that got Durka pulling back out of mid as well. Forsaken fills in that information, fills in the gap. And on short, that battle going down, it has Durka fully distracted. That calls for reinforcements, and so Forsaken strikes. Beautiful execution by Paper X. This early round really didn't go their way, but they have recovered so nicely on that, and it's Mind Freak to close the round with a triple.
Yeah, he's been so impressive already so far this tournament, but the thing that has been wonderful from Paper X, especially in this sort of round, is there's always a lurk, even when you think the lurk has faded. So Mind Freak, the initial lurk, catches players as they rotate. Then when he's the aggressor, he's the front man, Forsaken becomes the lurk. And that's what makes this team so devastating is you're like, oh, well, everybody must have rotated because Mind Freak's now leading the charge. It's the complete opposite. They're still holding to make sure that you're caught in their trap.
Yeah, it was really, really nice, and that filling in that space for Forsaken is something we'll see many, many times out of this guy. We talked about it, his neon aggression in the earlier telly that we had. Yep, that's some early aggression out of him there. A little bit more as he takes down Enzo. Of course, only pistols that he's up against, and, well, Paper X not having too much trouble.
Really clean. The aggression basically caught up almost instantly by a flash. Durka has to just almost betray his teammates. Like, sorry, Alpha, this one's on you. And yeah, again, just flawless out of Paper X, leaving just Boaster, last man standing, not really able to have much impact in this round, and Paper X make that one look incredibly easy.
So Durka gets out of that with a Tour de Force, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Coming out of that one, yeah, I'm almost surprised that there wasn't a little bit more investment. Some creds dropped over to a teammate, and actually, you almost seen why. They kept up that money for a glass cannon operator in this round. It seems Durka's bought in the background. I'm very confused as to what's going down economically here, Tom.
Yeah, I guess maybe he expected to get a kill in that round and use it as an economy boost, but I don't know why you wouldn't use it as an economy boost now. I guess they're just saving it because they go, well, why waste it in a round where the rest of us have weapons when he can win us a round where we don't?
There.
I suppose so. I heard the Tour de Force popped. I'm led to believe that's Forsaken and not Durka losing his mind.
It could also be the fact that there's a null command. And it's just like, does he want to go into a position with no weaponry?
Absolutely nothing, yeah.
So it's like you're looking at the ultimates on the other side and you're going, okay, I'll play my operator so I definitely have a gun. And you know what? I like Duck having a gun as well.
Yeah, they might expect it in this round. It could be a next level play out of Durka, but he's not in the right position to find them. They've gone in towards the A side, and, well, Durka's now left in mid, op in hand, no shields. And an Odin for Enzo spraying away, finding nothing. Durka won't even get a chance to fire a bullet. This is a depressing round for Fnatic, Tom. They had their ideas with their op and their Odin, but that A side hold just did not match up.
No, and normally someone who is incredibly good on this map in particular is Mystic, but thus far kind of getting shut down, like either caught on rotations or even just in this round, just straight up entry. And a lot of the fights that Fnatic were taking there, they're risky. You're basically facing off against the full force of PRX, and well, I think one thing that PRX does maybe better than anyone, firstly getting entries, but secondly just that raw trading off the fact that their synergy is so on point. So to try and take those risks, okay, maybe it works against lesser opposition or the opposition you know, but versus PRX, it was never really going to happen.
Jing obviously feeling pretty good today. Swinging out for a couple of those early duels. Blast packing his way through the air. It was a drop shot, so to speak. Fnatic have called a timeout now. We're going to see this by consist of a judge. I'm interested to see. I assume Durka will use the Tour de Force. Here we go. You've already used up. But again, it's towards the A side. PRX this time, though, playing much more of a default Tom. This isn't like the last round where they blitzed into the other side, avoided Durka's off completely, and won the round in a matter of seconds. This one's going to be much, much slower. Maybe giving the opportunity for Durka to find one a little later.
Yeah, in a very aggressive position. You can actually see the early utility use from PRX as well, is expecting him to be in B main. They had a gravity wall to just try and pull him into the open. Oh, Forsaken has dodged this. I don't know if they'll expect him to be this close. Peek around the corner, though, he's straight into a judge. And of course, it's the classic that gets the kill from Enzo. Now trying to retrieve that extra weaponry, and Enzo has done just that, so maybe something a little extra. Devi is playing, again, this is the second time now we're seeing him play the Odin on the attack.
Oh, you can't judge him when he just blasts right past you, Jing. Huge space taking, huge damage. Enzo down low. The shield stripped from him. You can see Alpha, 67 HP. The tags healed up on some teammates at least.
Fnatic, they didn't rotate. That's the thing, they didn't rotate. After the last round where they got baited in by this switchback, they've actually left players behind. Mystic has slowed them right down. The only player still here is Devi.
30 seconds, 25. They've got to get a move on, and that slow is still there. Even more so now, Durka connecting that kill. It puts a slow field on the floor. He has a trap to cover them pushing through. They're going right back, but this site is still stacked up. Devi's been waiting patiently. Good spam, good damage. 6 seconds, though. They need a plan right now. They're already planting an Alpha. Just let them pass. He baited them in and won the round for the team. Utterly ridiculous as Fnatic take 3.
This was a perfect adaptation from Fnatic. They have been pushed and pulled with these rotations throughout, with lurks being left behind, and this time they gamble. They go, you know what? We're in a round where we have some weaker weaponry. We've still got 3 players within the site. You can have mid. You can have it, and we'll just play those extremities and wait for you to rotate back into us. Mystic's timing on that nade was perfect, and then you just have the setup of, do you want to run into Durka with a tour de force with 25 seconds left? The answer for any team in the world is no.
That was not optimal. I don't know, watching it back, if Alpha actually realized the player that jumped past him, or if he just went, they're planting?
Where are they? Oh, hey, bud.
Guys, are they planting A? What's going on?
How you doing?
How did you get there? Just jumped right over his head.
I'm going to have to stop you doing that.
I can't let you do that, sir. Dirk has been spotted, and he doesn't know. It's his shoulder as he went back into the corner. He's going to try to make a move sometime soon.
Oh, how Forsaken is. He's just gone walking into the site alone. The danger of this man. And they've even spotted Boaster. This leaves just Alfia at the back of the site. He might have a res. He's even walled himself in. He's like, you know what? If you want to push me, you have to try and get through the tiniest corner in existence. This is such a ridiculous way to try to sit. And of course, Forsaken just walks in.
So that Prowler was breaking the wall. The wall broke. Forsaken went around the other side. I don't know if there was a gap that wasn't checked or the wall breaking drew the attention, but either way, Boaster here on 4 HP. 27 for Mystic. It's fair to say Dirk is going to have to do the heavy lifting on this one. He's at least found the first. That's Forsaken down. Suppression. Not going to have any post-plant stars or anything like that to worry about. Fnatic getting their way into the site. Bankai around the nade, but he's only able for the one. And a quick follow-up by Durka gets that diffused right on through.
Yeah, definitely a little bit close for comfort. Even though Alpha actually goes down after just a kill, I think even just his delay. I don't know if I've ever seen anyone do that with a Sage Wall. Mainly because it is slightly ridiculous. Just go, this is my boathouse. You're not coming in here. Just got my boats. I don't know. But it did buy them an extra little bit of time. The worry for me is that Forsaken is still able to do this. Like, basically just walk in. I don't think there was any utility for either kill that he got. It was just like, hey, I'm just going to try and pressure you. And he got a lot done. It was only down to that clutch and good read from Durka on the player behind that actually wins them the round.
Yeah. I mean, you saw how quickly those kills came in. That's something you're definitely not going to want to account the majority of rounds in. Prowler right away, but no worries. Durka's able to TP out, set up with Mystic, and again, that duel is found. Last round, Jing went blast packing into Wine to try and take down Durka, who just promptly TP'd out and had Mystic walk through and take the kill. Forsaken, trying to take space elsewhere, is caught by that double push out of Fnatic. And at this point, again, PRX, they stall out. 3 versus 5, no real map control. And I mean, you still have that AWP of Boaster to worry about. Didn't think I'd be saying that.
You know, we'll see. He's basically just holding the most passive angle ever. Like, that's probably the reason behind
Opping
it.
in our
It's just
spawn.
like, yeah, he's just
camping.
holding the cross.
He's actually camping.
He is.
It's one of the only times you'll actually see that. But yeah, right in their spawn. The pressure is on B, though. At least that's what it seems like, Mind Freak. He might just have thread the needle. I think he did. But Durka saves the day anyways. Catching that frag. Spike down on B. And Bankai not that pressured for time. And with Enzo gone, he might even get a plant out of this. The Boaster's up in the spawn the whole round. Saves the day. Beautiful.
Yeah, I don't think Bankai expected to be peeking into an operator there, but even still, a nice attempt at the clutch. Again, I really like the way that I feel like Alfaya is using his walls in the most passive ways humanly possible. But one of them, the wall he's putting down there, is to allow his teammates back into the site if they need to retake without being pincered in from that spawn area, from that A main area, or B main area, sorry. Aggressive just to almost try and deny this. But early in the round, again, mid-control going to be battled for, and Jing slowly making his way through B main.
Yeah, this round Forsaken's a little bit more of a duelist. He doesn't have a trap to play with, so it also means you got to up the pace from PRX a little bit. They could be pushing A right now. There'd be no information there. 2 players already going to be stunned up on site. Not able to hear a damn thing. Deafened as the showstopper comes in. It's not finding the kill. It's not finding anything, but Jing made online for the back. That should be a nice, easy kill.
Out of charges.
And so the plant comes through. PRX 4v2. Operator on Turk for the retake. Certainly not ideal, but he's winning it towards middle. And Tom, I see Devi sitting around there.
It seems like they do expect the lurk in every spot, but Devi just ready. Leaving Mystic alone, and while financially not in the greatest of spots, probably just going to try and escape out of there. Flash is good, and he's managed to steal the operator. Devi's blinded himself. I don't think he expected that to be the way the duel went, but Jing with a triple kill. A quiet game for him so far, but 3 kills in this round, almost just raw entrying on his own. I think he'll take it.
Just a good teammate there, Devi. You know, ult online, so he dies, so Jing can trade him, grab an ult orb.
Yeah, that's what
big,
it was.
Big brain Devi, we respect it, that's for sure. 5-5, PRX, call a timeout, win a round. They've maybe got the winning formula pin, but as I said, that had to be a much, much quicker round from them. They didn't have their trap to cover off any control. This time around, they will have that available, although not placed in the pre-round, as you can see. They're going for a default again. Little bit of mid-skirmish coming out of Mind Freak, presumably using some of his util.
Where is he going?
Late peeking.
He's walking through the slow.
That's a strategy, all right.
Yeah. Fair enough, okay. He's tried to be a little bit cheeky and he's been shut down by Durka, who I guess for the majority of the map has been on the other side. He's been fighting in towards A.
He didn't even have an anchor, right? Like, that. He was way past where his anchor reaches to inside that slow.
Maybe he was on the edge. I don't think he cared. I'll
I
be
don't
honest.
think he gave a damn,
I don't think that was
You're
even a
spot on
thought. He
there.
was like, hey, how far can I get? Are they going to stop me? He's walked into B multiple times and got a multi-frag. I don't doubt anything Forsaken does anymore.
Yeah, he does what he wants. Mystic picking up that frag. Oh, a nice spray reset, but leaves Mind Freak with a sliver of health. That's enough. Boaster stuck in the back of the site. Doesn't have the paranoia online anyways, so he doesn't mind about being powerless. What a timing from Mind Freak. Right up behind them in heaven. Alpha Year's the last alive. Man has got a res online, though. Maybe a chance. Oh, If he finds that kill, who knows?
Mind Freak is so nasty. He waits for them to break the window so that then he has the space to move through, because they're going to break that to try and sell the fact that they're going in the other direction, not having any idea that he would be that far forward. As I said, I feel like his lurks in this game so far have been the most impactful thing in this map, and he has Forsaken on his team. Like, he has been unbelievable. 14-6 at the moment, playing a lurk Astra.
I was going to say he's sick today, but I don't want to curse it. Sensitive topic. One round for them to play for here. PRX been doing well 2 in a row so far. This attack seeing a lot of presence towards A. Trap placed outside B for the control. They don't have to take it too fast, but well, Jing, he didn't read that handbook. He's right into the site. A is completely theirs. Great space taking.
Yeah, this is the pace that works best for Jing. You see him in the rounds where things are slow, maybe not playing his best game. You see the runs where they say, let's just go into the site. That's where Jing is dangerous. Now we're going to see the Cosmic Divide actually thrown in, locking him in under. Trying to give him that extra little bit of space. Both still fighting within the smoke, and actually Jing has gone down. Mystic being able to catch him out, smoking off the cross. They can actually start getting on the diffuser. They need to watch out, though. Mind Freak is lurking in the back lines. You've seen the res already come through, and while Benkai is the only man standing, he's done a lot of damage onto the players, trying to get that diffusal, even manages to get the connection onto Boaster. They're trying to pressure him, and eventually they will. It will be a 6-6 scoreline, and honestly, Mitch, I think that's exactly where it should be.
Yeah, neck and neck at the half. It's certainly how it's felt the whole way through. Fnatic, they've...
so not quite as good. Yeah, on this map versus FPX. So a close one at that. We'll see what they have planned for this defense. I've already being thrown over the top. Maybe trying to fake out a little bit of information early. Forsaken just looking to try and play within the smoke placed down by the attackers. They should be aware of this, and with Enzo still having Prowlers, I'd be surprised if they're caught.
Oh, the boom bot, it gave the distraction that was needed, the timing for Forsaken, and now he's back over to short, ready to hold down, but the team resets. They move through mid. You know, we TP'd out of here a moment ago. That flash is good. Divide doesn't realize they've gone past him. They're in the spawn behind, and Divide has no idea. Durka able to take one before going down. That mistake corrected, and then double down on beautiful, leaving Boaster alone. Well, he is just being surrounded, pushed on every side, but it looks like he's going to hold strong a little bit longer.
He basically caught that nade. A nice nade from Jinx. I feel like they needed to put him down, but yeah, Divide, huge mid-hold. Like, the fact is, he lets someone go past unintentionally and then ends up killing that player anyway, while also catching the rest of the Fnatic team. Because that was the thing. The reason Fnatic pressure that is because they know the TP has taken Forsaken away. So you go, okay, there must be a gap. There was not a gap.
Yep. They had very much planned for that in the early round, him to go aggressive. I almost feel like if he doesn't see contact in the first couple, he might even go for the TP right away, fill in the gap on the A side. The good intention and a good bait play out, PRX. They reap the reward of that now, 7-6 up against an Eco. Classics all around for Fnatic. Durka, 4 Headhunter bullets to play with.
I can't use that.
The only thing that Fnatic have going for them. So you'd be very surprised to see anyone else take the opening fight. Unless, of course, it's PRX doing something like that, right? Flashing in, taking the aggression. They've managed to stall them out and get a ton of info. Gotta be very careful, though, Tom. You know, a little mistake up against these kind of numbers, so unforgiving when you run into 4 classics if you make an overextension.
Oh, no, don't go back to short. Don't go back to short. You don't know what you're walking back into, Fnatic. If you head in that direction, it's Forsaken with the Judge. He'll have his tour de force by next round if you do that.
Well, this is mid-peak. Out of the Headhunter from Durka to try and hold for top mid contact, and here it comes. They haven't swung wide enough, and Durka is now distracted, looking over at
Oh, he's now back.
Come back and forth. 2 quick kills. A little bit of damage out of Fnatic. And, you know, with these classics, one more here would be great for them, but they'll get nothing. Shut down by Jing. 8 rounds on the board for PRX. And the most important thing here, Tom, you know, those orbs, they're being stacked up on Divide, which I think you'd prefer that to someone like Jing having his ulti online.
Yeah, he got a few himself. I feel like the flash was definitely not the best that came out of Divide, but it worked enough for Jing. And I think that's all that really mattered. 8-6 though. This is where Fnatic need to turn the tide. They've got some nasty combos they can throw in, especially alongside Mystic and Enzo. We've seen that from FPX many a time. Look at where the defense is though. 2 players in mid. Are they going to blast back straight down into tiles?
Oh, yes, they are. And a flash up top as well. Thing is, this is kind of being given away. They're not ready, though. Fnatic not reading into the blast pack play. They've been caught off. And now that push comes through from main. These forces,
So nasty.
they group up. Their combined damage already yielding a number of opening duels. A lot of damage to this team. 7 HP left on Mystic as he goes back for a heal. He'll at least get most of his health back, but this is not an easy round now for Fnatic. They have been disrupted.
They've got to clear everything. Like, literally, look at where Jing still is. Up until moments ago, I genuinely think there was a moment in his head where he was like, I could just run into their spawn with the Spectre, but instead, they are going to fall back. A minute left to play with for Fnatic to try and clear out some of these positions, and you know that Devi is still sat there, flash ready if they need to try and get more aggressive. Benkai even going to go for the swing, but they're pressuring. Mystic does trade it back, though.
This whole time, they've made all that noise on mid to tell these players, hey, look, I'm the furthest forward. I'm the point of contact, the tip of the spear. But actually, it's Boaster. Not a spear, but a dagger trying to make his way in behind them. They've spotted him just in time, though. And I don't think he's getting out. Oh, he is getting out of this one. Mind Freak's gone as well to be sights under threat. It's Jing that has to save the day, and he's gone too. This is winnable.
Oh, it should be winnable from here now. Forsaken left with his headhunter in hand. They might not expect him to be here so soon. That's the only real surprise. Wall up, but it hasn't really covered off anything. In fact, it's left a gap that he's just going to walk straight through. I don't think they've spotted it yet. A chance for Forsaken down into the 1 versus 1. But he's read this wrong. He expects Boaster to be wrapping back around. Instead, Boaster still sits within the boathouse. A chance for Forsaken. He picks up a rifle along the way as well. A bullet or two needed, but he's given away his position. Almost trying to bait him in, and eventually Boaster will close it. Way too close for comfort for Fnatic, but they do just about scrape through the round.
Yeah, it's unbelievable that he survived so long in the spawn, and I think you just see how off guard Penkai was caught by that player being there. They thought that this was a
Swings
clear...
it again, though.
Oh, yeah, he went back out. Listen, I'm not going to excuse the second duel. The first one, very much so.
Enemy remaining.
Spectre at range.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's how every Fnatic fan feels right now, Boaster.
Well, a round they probably would have liked to win a little cleaner, Tom. All the finances. Why? He's gone! And they've got a reveal as well. The Haunt doesn't catch Jing, also fell off the wall, but still, good attempt. I like to see the initiative, and that's not the only bit of aggression. They're pushing mid as well. An A main push, a mid push. A very passive B hold, but that's where Fnatic are going.
Only Forsaken would put his anchor that far forward straight away. Nobody else, but already they've managed to delay. Alphia has caught one though, and Divide just completely blinded by the paranoia. Boast has come out with a tasty couple of assists there. A nice shot back from Forsaken though, the spam even doing further damage, and he just got 2 for 1! It's gonna go down into Jing facing off against Boaster. He can TP to the other side of the map and he'll be able to get an afterplant.
30 HP and a nade online for Jing, Tom. This could all go so wrong. But it comes down to the position of Boaster.
Is he going to try and wrap all the way back? He's planted open for sure.
So far back.
So if he manages to run all the way back, there's no way this is a position you're going to expect from Jing, right? Unless he's an absolute genius. You're even going to see the smoke coming through up from heaven, and he's going to nade himself. Definitely not what the plan was, but he has absolutely no idea. And now Boaster's bought enough time for himself to wrap all the way back around on the flank. A single bullet needed, and I don't think Jing has made the realization he'll finally work it out, TP to the other side, but he hasn't even managed to get it close to halfway. Boaster almost just playing with his food as the peak comes out. A fantastic clutch from Boaster, and the scoreline level once again, Mitch. He's even going to die to the spike. I think he was celebrating too much.
You know what? Can you blame him? Can you blame him?
The
clutch that he just won.
God.
It should never have been that close, but I'm not sure you can account for something like that. Just unbelievably unlucky timing for Fnatic. And it gave the edge to PRX, but that wasn't enough. The 30 HP 1v1, the big brain IGL coming out with the victory and equalizing the scoreline. They're right back in this game, and Tom, they might be right back in the lead. PRX have to take an eco, but Forsaken He's coming through with his ult just in time.
Well, that's the thing. It's an eco in terms of weaponry. It definitely is not an eco when it comes down to the ultimates. You're looking at 4 online. One of them has already had impact in the Tour de Force. You got a showstopper. You got a null command and Cosmic Divide. Maybe that'll play a part. Luckily for Fnatic, they do have their res. So Enzo's going to be back online. They're waiting to see if there's any re-aggression, but you can tell now Fnatic are going to be quite a bit more careful with the angles they're taking.
I'll tell you what, there was a moment where I'm thinking Jing's about to pop that showstopper once the res comes through and just go steaming into B main looking for duels.
Guarantee he had the same thought.
Yeah, I could see him hovering the key, man. I saw it, but he decided against it. Probably the right call, resetting and allowing this Tour de Force to get a second lease of life. Second opportunity to take a kill. And it's right outside this A site. He's about to have the challenge. Forsaken's pushed back by the Prowler. And he's going to be caught now as well. I don't think he can take his ult out just yet. Yeah, he's suppressed. He's got to run for his life. Buy time, stay alive. And Fnatic are capitalizing on that.
Alpha just tried to wall up in towards the site through the Cosmic Divide. Well, I question whether it would have impact. The ult definitely has. A freebie kill. Boaster trying to lurk his way through, though. They might not have spotted this angle, but they actually use that haunt to give him away. The rest of the team, though, is doubled back in towards the B site. It's completely clear, so the likelihood is Fnatic will have an afterplant, and more importantly, Boaster is still here behind them.
And he passed right by a Prowler. I don't think that they imagine that he could be around this area. Maybe they'll clear it. Yes, they will. Okay, Vigilant on the way through. They've managed to avoid giving him a pick, and well, they don't want to hunt him down. That's the thing. It's just a time waster completely. He can keep on playing cat and mouse all round long. PRX need to reset. They've got to look for the site, and that's Durka waiting for them, missing the shot. Enzo with a rifle in hand, holding down the laneway. He'll give up ground too. The ultimate used here, hoping that that'll give them the extra edge, dodging the reveal around behind the boxes, and Durka now with an op in hand gets that extra shot off, finds the kill that may just have secured the round. Left Forsaken with absolutely no chance to even get out.
That's the thing, he could just try and hold them in. Bear in mind, they lost every player in the last round, so any cost that can be caused here will actually affect Fnatic. But again, they had to use a lot for this, Mitch. Even though it was mostly those pistols that were put into play, okay, there was a couple of ults on the other side invested. You still have to bear in mind, there is a null command, a showstopper, and now the rifles and an operator on the other side going into this round, whereas Fnatic had to burn almost everything.
It was a really well-played early round as well. Economically, certainly shaky ground. That operator for Durka, one of the main things.
They win the round, don't buy.
And it's caught it. Yeah, no, it's a strange one. Like you said, coming out of previous round, though, they lost so many players. They survived the previous with, was it nobody or just the one that came through?
I think it was 2.
No, the one before.
Oh, the one before was nobody, yeah.
Nobody.
Boaster died to the spike.
So your economy is just in such a rough spot that they've almost made the right call. It's very, very rare to see this happen, though.
Yeah, and I guess when you have Durka, you can almost take that gamble every once in a while because there's a good opportunity. He might just win you the round. Nonetheless, rifle retrieved. Forsaken, though, is going walkabouts. So dangerous when he gets in this zone. And actually, Boaster's gone down, trying to sneak his way through again, and now it's just free. It's so free. That's a spike on the deck. Dirk has been able to take one back, but he has to go on a retrieval mission.
Yeah, you're peeking right into this op. There's not a lot that can get them across on this. It looks like they might just want to drive peek into this. A little bit of utility to clear close corner, but
they didn't get the spike.
They haven't got it. No, they're not even close. They're still worried about him. Finally, though, a star comes back online. It looks like we might have an attempt out of the defensive side to crunch in on that spike. Getting past the utility for a moment. So
both sides are open.
They used the smoke to walk past the trap on A, but then have gone back completely. And Fnatic, meanwhile, they're letting them do all these little mind games and so on, and they'll just take B.
It's happened a couple of times. Bankai, though, winning that duel versus Enzo is actually a huge deal. Now Durka going to try and reclaim this angle. He's definitely going to peek into this. You can already see the ult was almost utilized by Bankai, worried about this position. And Nightmare is not even going to connect onto him. So Durka is still going to have all his sound. Waiting, nice shot from Alpha here as well. But the shot missed from Durka. Turning it back into that 2v2 scenario. Looking to try and swing into this operator, a second miss. And now Alpha is the last man standing. All he has is his pistol, trying to turn this around. The first goes his way, but Mind Freak will drop him. Once again, we go 9-9, but I guess considering they didn't properly buy it,
It was,
not a bad round.
The easiest way to say it is it was a bonus round for Fnatic,
Yeah.
right? Like, you don't normally see them this late, but that's what it was. So for PRX, that's a round win. If anything, it's probably closer than it should have been, which is weird to say. And in this round, they're going to come through on the Fnatic side. They have, I believe, got the Tour de they've got the Tour de Force online on Durkin. Now, null command on Devi, and we've seen that be a problem before. So Fnatic will still purchase up that rifle on Durkin. Leave the Tour de Force as an option for maybe this round or maybe the next.
Yeah, but look at the buy for PRX. That's the thing. Even though it wasn't the normal spot for a bonus, the money sucks right now on PRX. We're going to see a fast-paced move. Null command initiated instantly. Counter stars placed to hold them back that little bit longer. Although I say hold them back, Bo's just gone TPing into the site. Alpia as well up on the wall. This could be a nasty surprise for Benkai. He's being pressured from all angles, and eventually Alpha will take him down. Sight in. Jingo's just gone through, but he hasn't managed to connect again. The showstopper seems meaningless. He just uses it to blast himself into the air, trying to fight back, and he somehow gets another one. Eventually, he's put in the dirt, but he's done enough. His teammates even it again.
I don't know how Jings managed to keep them alive in this one, but still that heartbeat is starting to become faint, and Fnatic fade away completely. PRX take a 10th here. Blink and you miss it on that one, Tom.
He's a madman. He's an actual madman. Like, the rest of the team are like, okay, we're setting up, we've got our flashes. I've got the operator. I'll hold. And Jing's like, I'll see you guys in a bit. I'm going to go get 2 kills. By the way, neither of them will be with the showstopper, the giant bazooka I just fired at someone. I'll just use that to slightly fly into the air and then just headshot 2 people instead. It is the least conventional retake you will ever see in your lives, but that is Jing in a nutshell.
Yes, Minnie, I feel that exactly, and I think that's the only appropriate response. One of those rounds you'll be hanging your head afterwards, just upset, and you let it go that a player can pop off like that on PRX and put you onto an eco, potentially an 11-9 scoreline. Jing, same play out of the flash, and he's in. They have absolutely no idea that this pace is a possibility, and that's the spike drop. Jing is just lightning fast, and there's nothing the Fnatic can do about it. 2 versus 5.
He's just put smoke on the spike. It's like they're trying to troll Fnatic in half of these rounds.
He's used the Tour de Force, so, yeah. Smoke it up. They're not going to push into that with a Tour de Force, are they?
Yeah.
It's a big risk.
And they've got a res as well if they ever wanted to try and throw that in. I don't think this will be the round they're going to use it, but I love the fact that every time we see that same push. All right. Okay. I think Forsaken might have had a little bit of tunnel vision there.
Well, they've managed to obtain that spike after the smokes had dissipated and got back in with one being pulled back. Still so much for Fnatic to do. They're in the attacker spawn with 40 seconds left and half the manpower their opponents have to work with. Mind Freak still has a ton of stars. Utility really not looking to be
30 seconds
any sort of problem. And there you go. And that nade is about to ruin his day. Jing's got 4, and the showstopper's almost back, Tom. Not that that's really going to mean anything from what we've seen.
The thing is, I feel like if you look at this round in like layman's terms, you look at it in the bare bones, you say, Jing is a madman, he's running them, and he's getting a load of kills.
Yeah.
Is not the case. It's not the case. The fact they have a pop flash to blind the person, they have a stun for anybody at the back, and they have a haunt that they have to lean up to shoot. There's like 4 different pieces of utility that pop just before he goes around that corner. So that first kill is as free as can be.
Yeah.
Now, some of the rest of the swings, he is actually a madman still.
Yeah.
But it's that supportive utility that make PRX god tier.
Look,
Jing alone is good.
You can do that every round in ranked, and it's not going to work the majority of the time. You're going to look silly going blast packing down mid, and it's funny to watch it and go, but how can a pro team not? He's blast packing mid. Come on, you can hear it. He's done it already, but it's because, yeah, like you said, there's so many other things for them to worry about. There's the blast packs, there's the haunt, there's the stun, there's all these things coming their way, and now a Tour de Force to deal with. But they have managed to take down Benkai on the other side.
I'm just going to stick that for a second.
You will not kill my
There's the res. Right back up into a 5v4, and not anything that PRX can do about it.
Was that TP a distraction to get them away from B main? Because if it is, that's genius. It's like, okay, well, he's trying to take side control. I have to run back and fight him. Jing, though, just re-aggresses. Dirk is alive for about 5 seconds, and he's already dead once again. Ready to set up in towards this A site. Nade looking at that cross as well to try and slow them down if needed. No ultimates available either for Fnatic, so getting in here is not going to be easy, unless, of course, Mystic just pops.
He just jumped into it! He jumped into the knife while he had the oh no! The showstopper was out, and then he just completely ruined it. Fnatic walk out. Find it easily. Jing dealt with in heaven, and that is a disaster for the old youth. How has he gotten two?
I don't know, but it seems like they've gone tunnel vision into their position. Somehow Mind Freak has brought this back into a winnable position, knowing roughly where a couple of these players are. Enzo just sat around the generator. One player almost directly below him, making this drop should be instant death, but he's actually got a little bit further. He isolates the first, and there's no trade for Enzo. This 1v4 is on, and it leaves it down just to one man standing, pinged up by the Haunt, looking for the final player, and somehow Mind Freak brings this back. It looked like a done deal after a slip-up from PRX, but somehow this man wins it again.
Yeah, his clutch potential is off the charts right now. There were a couple of opportunities for Jing in that round. There were a couple of opportunities for PRX as a whole. Never would I have thought that Mind Freak was going to be the one to dig them out of this hole. He had nothing. He didn't even have a star to work with in this. This is just raw firepower, taking them across the line. You see from the PRX facility way over in Singapore. Got to do it on the attack side. Up against a fierce PRX that are going in again. Jing, he got flashed up this time and walled off, sectioned into their spawn, but they're not done.
Okay, I swear that's the second time this game Alfia has not realized someone's there and still killed them anyway. I don't know how he's getting away with this. It's almost like, if I don't see you, you don't see me, but somehow it's worked out for them. Forsaken still gets the kill onto Enzo. It has left him very low on HP, but what Alfia has already done in this round, well, I don't even want to say it should be enough because they just lost a 1v4.
That was an ambitious attempt out of PRX, something that's had a lot of success for them in the past. And honestly, the difference this time is just that flash blinded Jing. If it doesn't, they win. If that goes the way it did the last 2-3 times, he's good for one minimum. And it will be the Sage taken out. But instead, we come back into this with Alpha, 2 kills under his belt already. Aggression attempted and succeeded. Fnatic on their way to the A site. Only Forsaken in their way! What? He's caught Mystic on the fade back. And keeping control, a foothold of the A site. They've got to cross him. They've got to face him down or smoke him out. And that's what they're going to do, the latter. But he's not done. Forsaken. Well, he's thinking about going through it with 11 HP and Alpha Air punishes.
I just almost had to breathe out there, a sigh of relief. I thought he was going to get away with murder once again. Now it's Benkai's turn. One less than last time, but you can see homed in on the angle. Alfia watching, waiting for someone to try and make that move. The Prowler gives away Durka's position, but clearing out these players underneath, well, it shouldn't be easy. It shouldn't be possible. And now they know exactly where he is. He's not getting that opportunity just yet, and a trade this time does come through from Fnatic.
Yep, all you can do in that situation for Benkai is attempt to create your own opportunities, but really it relies on Fnatic making big misplays, and they certainly did. This just is utterly ridiculous. And the immediate reset from Alpha, you see his tactical awareness in this moment. The wall is up, he doesn't need to worry about that. It's just be made, and he resets instantly.
He walls while completely blind. He's like, okay, right, I'm blind. But I know roughly my wall should go here. Okay, I've walled. Oh, there's a dude there.
C,
all right, and I'm going to kill that guy. Oh, wait, they normally push B main straight after.
They do that,
oh, cool, free kill. Nice. It's like his decision-making for someone who is 17 years of age is ridiculous.
Oh, that nade is perfect. Now I have to step right back out of A main, and well, even suffering a little bit of damage along the way. Shields mostly stripped off of Boaster. Not a great early round so far for Fnatic. They've been denied the control they looked for on A. They've taken some damage. And outside of B, it's pretty much the same thing. In fact, B main is being challenged by PRX. The same old teleport we've seen from Forsaken a couple of times. It allows him into just the nastiest of positions up close, and he can fade out of here almost immediately. They need to be clinical in taking this duel, and they are anything but.
He didn't leave. I was thinking for a second he might try and rotate off. Jing has been caught though. This might mean a double back, but for now at least they're still fighting. Diviego's looking. They've even got the rares, and while Forsaken's gone as well. Turning this into a 5 versus 2. Both players very far apart. And with the pincer coming through that market, I don't know what Benkai can do from here.
He should be done.
30 seconds left.
Don't worry about the stairs on their way through. They're about to smoke him off. And, well, does he want to go through it? No. He's going to try and keep them inside of main. Misses it, and then, well, goes out to his death. That was an expected outcome, really. Mindfreak left alone. A 1v5, Tom. Literally no chance he wins this. And
Shut up.
cemented by the fact that he's on main. 0%.
You shut your mouth.
There is no reality in the multiverse.
There isn't. Maybe he can grab while them all back into the spike and they all die. That's the only way I think he can do anything here, but no. It is going to be another round. And I genuinely feel like a lot of this game has been Fnatic trying to adapt to what PRX are doing. And it's the most difficult game in the world to play. Like, it's the impossible challenge. And somehow Fnatic are doing a pretty decent job of it, catching a lot of the aggression, waiting for some of those rotational pushes that have been coming through so regularly, and basically just stopping PRX in their tracks. And the danger now is PRX are pretty low on economy. Like, you're watching Mindfreak save a Bulldog. If that doesn't tell you enough, well, we'll have a look at the credit.
Remember, 3 players on light shields, a frenzy on Benkai for final round a half. Look, it's not ideal, but Jing's gone. He's sending it again. The reveal's huge. Jing's got 2. That play has been teased again and again. And finally, PRX get the success out of it. Couldn't be a better round for it. Now those disadvantages, well, they don't look so bad when you've got a 4v3.
That was gorgeous. As you said, they attempted it a couple of times. This is the one time it's properly paid off for PRX, and it's at 12-11. Again, we're going to see a reset from Fnatic in towards mid. Try and wait and patiently watch to see if anybody's going to get aggressive, but not this time. Forsaken sat in the corner towards the logs. He's got the crossfire as well with Mindfreak. You've got deep control on A as well. It's only really mid that has any gaps. And even that's being watched sneakily by Benkai every once in a while.
It's hard to imagine this goes their way. Forsaken's able to TP back to the B site. Mindfreak, trade, set up on site with his teammate, and they've already got the advantage, but this relies on Forsaken getting something done, and this is... Oh! He's actually not gotten the kill. Durka made it out. A little bit of information to play with, perhaps, but 30 seconds, Tom. Where they're relying on Boaster, again making it through mid. He's thread the needle. He did this many times in the past. He's had the success before. He won them that round on B, but Benkai, frenzy in hand! No way it's the frenzy to do it! The spike remains in Fnatic's hands, but they've only got 10 seconds to get it planted. They're closing in on the site. That smoke actually allows Divide to stay alive. They've got it planted. They'll get it done. Just about. A 2 versus 2 emerges.
Chance, Boaster. He's going to get dinked up. Both players tagged. And now it's left on to Enzo. Acquired a game from him thus far. Needs to try and isolate one of these jewels. And he goes looking. Forsaken facing the other way. He's heard that window broken. And now looks to try and wrap around behind them, knowing that both players are coming through this door, waiting for that initial fight, and he finds it. Mindfreak once again left into the clutch. Even going to tap onto that spike. In fact, he's looking to try and stick it at least halfway. The Haunt has given him away, and it's a rematch from before. And once again, Mindfreak is going to win it. PRX, they have taken map 1.
Again and again. Clutch after clutch, Mindfreak has been there. The foundation of this team, keeping them standing in that first map. They have stolen Fnatic's map pick.
That was the whole best of 3, right, Mitch? That was the whole best of 3.
Already gotten an impeccable set of rounds. I mean, so many clutches out of Mindfreak. Fnatic have had their upsides to it. Looking at that scoreboard, though, it's undeniable. 28 and 14 for Mindfreak. This guy just had his life game.
My heart is legitimately racing. Like, I'm not even kidding. My heart is legitimately racing from how ridiculous this match was. This was map 1. This was the series of the day in my eyes, but it could even be the series of the tournament. The way this is kicked off, I think next, my mind might be fried, but I think we're going to Bind, which is, it's an incredible map for PRX, but I think that every single map in this series has the chance to go in the other direction. There is no clear-cut victory, as proven by what has just happened.
Here it is.
They have just lived exactly what I felt in that last round. An incredible map from Mindfreak. Honestly, that was one of the maps of a tournament